Hi everyone, welcome back to Sunday Art Journal Prompt. Today I'm just using a piece of watercolor paper here, and then I'll cut it in down the middle and put it in my journal. And today I'm just going to talk about us taking a break, a modern day Sabbath, as it were. So many times, especially now, we are always plugged in. If it's not the television, it is our computers, our phones, you name it. You are always plugged in, being connected, being just always wanting to know what's going on. Like, the world is that way, and it just doesn't give us much time to even sit and breathe and think and enjoy. So some time ago I started taking tech-free days. It was usually on a Sunday, and I pretty much stick to that now, except if I'm uploading something. But tech-free Sundays, literally no telephone, no television, which for me is a killer, I'm telling you. I might add that it starts at 7 p.m. Saturday, it goes till 7 p.m. Sunday. So I'm kind of cheating. I still get my Sunday night shows. But pretty much during the day, I'm not watching television. And you just go outside, and you don't even have to do anything but just sit and observe, think, be thankful, be appreciative, and all of those wonderful things that we just don't take time to do. So today I'm going to just completely create on this watercolor page. I absolutely have no idea what I'm going to make, but this might be an exercise that you could do on your tech-free time. And it doesn't have to be a whole day. Try with a tech-free afternoon, a tech-free Tuesday night, anything just to get started so that you can take time out for you. So I'm going to start. I just got these in the mail. We were on holidays and I got these in the mail, and I've never used them, so I'm going to give them a try. And I'm just going to spray the different colors. One is called Red Wagon, the other one is Springs, a pretty blue. There's a white one called Paper Doily, and another one called Crepe Paper. Oh, Cakewalk. No, Crepe Paper. They're from Cakewalk. So I'm going to start with this yellow one and just spray and see what I can create. Taking time off, anyone that knows that's creative knows, when you're playing like this, it is just so therapeutic. And maybe if you don't do art, you can always read, you can walk, you can do anything. Bake, try a new recipe, anything. Just anything, taking some time just to not always be connected. And I am famous for, I'm the worst culprit of all. I love Instagram. I love Twitter when I'm watching a program. I love it. I love tweeting along comments about the show. Oh, this white one's kind of fun. Oh, this is neat. This is creating a really interesting background. I think I'm going to try the yellow too again, because I want it to be bright. Yeah, that's nice. So I'm going to fill all those. Look at how nice. This is almost like a paint. Now, I got these on, what is that site? peachycheap.com, and they always give like a set of something for a really reduced price. So I've got a lot of washi tapes that way, a lot of lost and found embellishments. They offer that a lot. So yeah, look at this. Can you see it close? Very pretty. I'll just let that dry. I had this napkin just sitting here on my desk, and I love the little yellow polka dotted border on it. So I'm going to cut that out and use that right now, or maybe later, as my border around my page. But I'm also going to cut out some of these flowers and just adhere them to the page with gel medium. So I've been cutting out these daisies. I separated the backing off the napkin and then just started cutting. And you can see how translucent and delicate they are on the page here. So what I used for glue is a glue stick instead of my gel medium, because they tear easily. So this is how it looks. I'm just cutting around, you know, that fancy cutting, but except it's not so fancy. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just going to make a kind of a bed of daisies at the bottom. But I know for many of you moms out there especially, it's almost back to school time if it isn't already. And at that time, we know that in order to have a well-run home, things have to be scheduled. You got to take Johnny to hockey on such and such a day. Susie has dancing. Supper has to be on the table. I remember when my kids were young, they had 2 meals because they did track and field. So they would come home from school, change their clothes, put on their workout clothes, and they would have to eat before they went to work out. But they couldn't eat a full supper. So literally I was making 4 meals a day and working full time. And you know, you're like, I got this. I'm super mom. I can do this. I got this. And you were almost proud of yourself. And the busier you could be, it was like a challenge. The more you could do, the busier you were, until I eventually burnt out. And honestly, if I can not, I've said this before, all you young women out there, you have to take some time for yourself. It is not a selfish thing. It is a selfless thing. You need to do this. You need to take yourself to a place where time can go at its own pace, where you're not aware of the time. Even if you're sitting just kind of meditating, you don't have to be doing anything. And like I said earlier in this video, if taking a whole day is too much for you to take a Sabbath, then just take a few hours. Start with that part of the weekend. Don't just reserve your weekends for chores. You know, you use your weekend time to get everything back in order, clean out those backpacks, get the laundry done, do everything. But do you take time for yourself to get yourself back in order, to get yourself balanced, get yourself centered, just in feeling better? So trying to take a Sabbath, and I'm not talking about a religious Sabbath, which is wonderful if that's what you choose to do. And I mean, God did make Sunday as his day of rest. But if you're not a religious person, you still need to take some time during the week to just chill. And one teacher told me one time, because I had that super mom syndrome, and she says, you know, Monica, she was a religious coordinator at our school, she said, and I kept getting a sore neck every week, and I had the worst neck, which inevitably ended up, I had to have my spine fused. But prior to that, she said to me, you know, Monica, if you don't take a Sabbath, the Lord is going to give you one. And those words ring in my head all the time, how true she was. So we don't want any of that stuff to happen. We don't want people to get physically burnt out, mentally burnt out, no relationship with your spouse, no time for your friends, and more importantly, no time for yourself. So it's really important to take yourself a Sabbath. So now I've got my flowers all adhered down. I'm going to use this mask that I picked up when we were in Salt Spring Island. And it's a Rebecca Meyer stencil, actually not a mask. I used it in my last art journal with that India ink, but I want to try it with some paint now that I'm home and I can actually see how it really works. So I'm just going to put a little bit over here. I'm just trying to make, you know, some kind of a background because, you know, I'm just celebrating the fact that I'm just doing what I want. This morning, actually, I did do something for myself, and I wanted to share it with you guys, which speaks to taking time for yourself, taking a Sabbath, and all of that. I hired a personal trainer to come to my home. Now, I want to add that yes, Jesse does have a fitness company and he has personal trainers, and the trainer is through his company. But I am paying for my trainer. It's not free. But I thought, you know what, if I can spend money on craft supplies, on other stuff, I certainly can spend some money on me and my wellness. It is just so important to me to feel well. I feel like I've gotten a second chance after I had that brain surgery, and now that the pain is gone, you really appreciate, like, you don't take for granted feeling well. So that's sort of what I'm going to concentrate on when I have my different days of my Sabbath. It's all about wellness. Anybody that's in a caregiver situation, you might be looking after a senior parent, as I am. You may be a nurse, a doula, a doctor, a teacher, any of those professions where you are a caregiver. Take some time for yourself. And there are so many programs out there that will help you. I don't know how it is in the US, but here in Canada, we have lots of programs. Like today, my mom has somebody that comes and takes her and does her shopping with her. So we go for shopping too. My mom and I went and got pedicures and stuff like that, and I take her to the doctor. But I think it's nice for her to do stuff with another person that's not family. So she goes out once a week with her little worker, and it gives me time to play. And then you don't have that resentment build up. Okay, so that worked pretty much the same as it did with the ink. Yeah, just kind of basically put some little blobbies on the paper. Okay, so I'm going to let that dry. I've got one of these clocks. These are, Heidi Swap. I've had these forever. And I keep using them. I think they're great because you get so many little clocks in there. And I cut out from, I think it's called Heart Wings from Tim Holtz Sizzix die. And I'm just gonna distress the wings so they stand out a little bit. I just used some kind of a pink text that I had in my stash. And then I am just going to let my time move at its own pace. Because I'm just a-chillin', taking some time for me, and my time can just fly wherever it wants to. And I'm going to find some pretty little blingy thing to put right there. So on the left side of the page here, I just drew a really rudimentary kind of a black box. Can you see right here? And it's going to be my electrical outlet. And I'm starting to use my Martha Stewart tip black pen. These ones I told you about. You can buy the tips at Michael's. And it's going to represent the cord, the black cord, the cord, and basically a reminder to unplug. And our time that has no purpose or no care is going to take that cord with it, so that we are disconnected. There. These are the coolest things to work with. Oops, a little bubble came out there. You can always start it on if you're kind of scared that it might bubble, just start it on another scrap piece of paper. But for me, it's art journaling, so I never, whatever happens, happens, right? And so I'll just pop the top back on that. It comes like that. And it stays, it doesn't get all globby or anything. And I like this high gloss because it gives it, see that shine? So again, I will let that dry. So I created my electrical outlet and the wall where it plugs into. And then I brushed over, you see that kind of glittery stuff, with this, what is it called? Stella, this Wink of Stella. It's a really nice little brush, and it has a little bit of glossiness. Look, I'll just put it on my skin. See, it just has that pretty gloss to it, so I just outlined my outlet with that. You can see I added the Wink of Stella right there on the wing, whoopsie, on the wings as well. It's so pretty. So because I glued my pages back into my book, I'll just zoom out a bit. I was a little bit off on the size. You can see on the right side there's a big gap of paper, so I sprayed it there as I did on the other side. So I'm going to stamp some letters with, I don't even know, I think these were making memories. And they're really cool because they're all odd shapes. So I'm going to put Unplug right across there. So here is my finished wacky page as usual. So I'll start from this corner. You can see these black circles. I made some black circles just to kind of echo the clock over there. So I used this kind of, it's like piping. Looks like this. And I just dipped it in some black paint and messed it all around and added it. It just adds a little bit of grounding into the page. You can see the background with the sprays and the stencil peeking through here. I found just a piece of screen. I was letting the dog out and it was sitting on by the back door, so I just took it and I frayed the edges, and then I put that tag over top. I made a little pleated thing on the top there, you can see, with the piece of the napkin, and it says, "Take yourself to a place where time can move at its own pace." And then I put washi tape at the top and the bottom of the tag and distressed the tag a little bit. And I added those napkin pieces around the sides and the bottom. I wanted to add it across the top, but I had already glued my wings down, so I didn't want to put it on top of the wings. You know what I'm saying? And then I had some letters, just random letters in my stash. So I pulled out a day of rest, and then I stamped Unplug. So that's my finished page. So I hope you guys can all find some time in your week, even just an hour, to unplug a modern day Sabbath. If you're religious, you probably already take Sunday as your day of rest, but why not incorporate that into your life no matter what your belief systems are? Maybe go for a walk, just sit in the backyard, look at nature, appreciate nature, just simply inhale and exhale. But do it for yourself. It's good for you. And what's good for you is also good for all your other relationships in your life. And it gives you a time to just be. You want to try to make an intentional effort to turn off and tune in and listen to what your inner soul is saying to you. Someone told me that this would be kind of a form of meditation. I took a meditation course and I asked the teachers, what's the difference between meditation and prayer? And he said, prayer is when you are praying to God, asking for whatever, or just being thankful to God. Meditation and being still and quiet is listening to God speak to you. And if for no other reason than for that, I think it's really, really, really important to just calm down, slow down, quiet down, and just create a little bit of sacred time in your week. So thanks a lot for watching, and we will see you all next week. Bye.